celebrated only 19, so many international medals and gold here at the ISSF World Cup 2 years ago when it was last held. But the others are not too far behind. Yashaswini is right there giving a lots of competition. So it's great for the Indian women particularly. There are so many competitors, each trying to be better than the other.
Absolutely, Yashaswini pretty strong coming up. Sriniveta was out of the team, came now into the finals, into the team, coming up from down under, giving everybody a run for their money.
So we're getting pretty close now to the end of the second series. And Manu Bhaker had mentioned earlier gold 2 years ago. That was in the mixed 10-meter pistol where she won it with Saurabh, who we may see later. We don't know. The qualifying will be out soon. The results for the men 10-meter pistol, that is. Oh, lovely shot. It almost looks like it's a freeze.
Absolute stillness. Manu Bhaker 9.1 there.
Oh, that's not too good. And Chaika, once again, losing a lot of ground with 8.5. She's got several 8s. And Sabgatullahi quietly moving ahead, another 10. You know, there are 8 of them, so we tend to lose track. Oh, Paramanantham with a 7.6. That's really going to drop her way down the pack.
Trying to grip the pistol because your hands keep sweating, so they keep wiping it and then re-gripping the pistol.
Okay, for the moment, the 3 Indians have Zavala Vasquez in their middle. But I'm afraid there's a big gap after Sabgatullahi because Theo is 3.6 behind and the Victoria Chaika further behind. So those two are in grave danger. Very difficult to make up 3.8 or 3.6 in the next couple of shots. But Yashaswini's done well.
Brilliant shooting by all the Indians, of course. A few shots here and there, but still in the game.
I'm quite surprised that Paramanantham with that 7 something is still among the top 4 or 5. So that's good news for her as we will begin eliminating pretty soon. Zavala Vasquez, who is in 3rd position currently, of course, 4th at Rio. Did I mention that? At the Rio Olympic Games. Narrowly missing out on a medal. And just to go on about Zavala Vasquez of Mexico, she also has 2 goals at World Cup finals. So she's done her share of winning and more. And she's very much in the mix here today in the final, New Delhi. Manu Bhaker. Well, unlike the air rifles, you can see the pop-up when the shot goes in the pistol. So it's a little more evident when someone's shot. But in the air rifle, it's almost impossible to make out when somebody's pressed the trigger.
That much more precise because the air rifle is 0.5 millimeter, the bullseye.
True. I can see that somebody favors rifles here. Okay, 12 shots later. What do we have here? Theo looks like she's at the bottom of the pack. Victoria Chaika from Belarus, just a shade ahead. They are the 2 ladies in a little bit of elimination danger. Now, some nations are obviously have a wonderful shooting tradition, among which, of course, Iran and lots of East European nations do very well. And I wonder if it's just something which is a tradition, or are they role models or better facilities, or what, Gagan?
Well, it's a mix of everything, actually, Charu, because you need good facilities, you need good training, you need good source of ammunition, weapons. I think the whole country's mechanism needs to be behind the athletes.
Well, there we go, though. Yeah, well, I think India's also becoming a world force now in shooting. Lots more availability, but we'll have our first elimination. And it'll have to be, I think, the young Singaporean. Well, not so young, 32. World rank number 36, just narrowly behind Victoria Chaika. And Shunshi Theo is no longer going to be part of this final. Well, for whatever it's worth, her coach looks younger than the athlete. So the Indians are 1-2-3 at the moment, but it's very, very close between Deswal and Bhakkar. And Paramanantham only 0.7 behind. So this is promising to be an Indian sweep, but we'll see.
There she closes her blinder.
Yeah, it's strange. She's the only one shooting with the mask on, and the rest have all taken the mask off.
And only the only left-handed shooter in the pack.
True. Fortunately, in shooting, doesn't make too much of a difference, does it?
And correction lenses are allowed, so no matter what your eye power is, you're able to correct. And the right eye is almost closed with the blinder, so that you don't have to put effort to close the eye.
Well, that's the big difference when young amateurs start shooting. They start closing an eye, and can be a real strain when you keep closing one eye.
That's an extra muscle to close and control.
Okay, Sabgatullahi has done pretty well so far. So has Zavala Vasquez. Manu Bhakkar here on screen, of course, still maintaining a game face, no emotion so far.
Looking at the scoreboard, figuring out what she needs to shoot next. Let's see what she gets. Slowly breathing out.
Agate Rashmane from Latvia, 23 years old and ranked number 17. She is pretty closely linked with Victoria Chaika here, just 0.4 ahead, a 10.1 for Chaika. Rashmane needs to do better, or at least that. And it's a 10.1. So Chaika may have to now leave the arena. And she began pretty badly today, though, sadly for her.
Most experienced four-time Olympian and World Championship gold medal. Couldn't make it, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, sport can often be brutal. And Victoria Chaika. Oh, we've got that wrong, haven't we? It's Sabgatullahi who leaves in 7th position. So she really wasn't at the bottom of the pack at all, but she had a terrible 13th, 14th, and that means she is now eliminated. And she'll be very disappointed because it wasn't really, she wasn't in reckoning for elimination.
Yeah, she started off pretty well and strong initially in the first 10 shots. Unfortunate.
Well, that was a bit of a surprise. We were focusing on the two that were bottom placed, but it was Sabgatullahi who had a terrible final shot. And that meant elimination at number 7. The 6 ladies still in the fray. The 3 Indians doing rather well. Chaika somehow managed to stay in, despite the start that we were talking about, because she has recovered thereafter. And here too, a 10.1 should keep her hopefully safe. Zavala Vasquez with a 9.3. That's horrible. And Paramanantham, she's been going up and down. 8.2, a 9 for Rashmane, and even Bhakkar a 9.3. So this was a poor effort by all 6 ladies. Something must have disturbed their concentration. Yashashwini the best at 9.9, or was it 10?
Looking at the scoreboard.
That's Zavala Vasquez. Hasn't quite kept up the pace, but luckily for her, the other shots in that series were also a little poor. So she may not be hurting that much. I love the Mexican flag on that blocker.
Coming slowly onto the target, trying to control, stay as stable as possible, and release the shot in the maximum stability.
That's a wonderful shot. Just showing how precise all of them are. Almost, as I said, like a dance or ballet. Everybody's doing exactly the same thing, virtually.
10.8 by Zavala Vasquez. Yashaswini shooting a 10.5. Others are in the 9s and the 8s.
Well, Manu Bhakkar of India Now dropping significantly, and Zavala Vasquez recovering. So each shot here seems to be offering a big swing, but it is Rashmane of Latvia who leaves in 6th place. She hung on, but eventually not the podium today.
Wave, but unfortunately we can't see the smile behind the masks.
Well, no, neither did we see too much disappointment, so that's good. Talked to the coach earlier about getting the right pronunciation. He said Victoria Chaika. I said, all right, we've got that. So she misses out today. Sorry, Rashmane we were talking about. The coach said Agate Rashmane. Quite amazing how Chaika continues, because she started off so badly. She was in elimination, even for the 8th place, and then all of a sudden she's still in there. So she's been shooting better and better. Of course, Vasquez is doing a pretty good job too, Zavala Vasquez.
Yes, Charu, she is a 4-time Olympian, pulling her reserves and the experience, surviving elimination, shot after shot.
Not looking too good for Paramanantham, who 10 will certainly not hurt, but Deswal a 9.6. She was sneaking along really well on top of the pack, and that shot will hurt a bit. The tension building up as we try and move into the podium positions here. Manu Bhaker winning a gold 2 years ago here in New Delhi in the mixed event, along with Saurabh Chaudhary, and will be certainly hoping to be among the medals today. She's very, very close, but I suspect for now it's going to be a steep climb for her to get gold. Maybe another color, though, of medal. She's been very good, Yashaswini.
She's been consistent all throughout, showing no signs of pressure on her face. Sriniveta in a bit of a trouble with 9.5.
So too Manu Bhaker at 9.5. So the other two Indians falling back a bit, but Yashaswini is now well clear of the field. And I'd hate to say this too early, or jump the gun as it were, but she's looking good for gold.
Zavala Vasquez eliminated. Doesn't look very happy, does she?
No, it was up and down, a few bad shots, some very, very good, which kept her in the race so far. But everybody will be very disappointed, not making it to the podium. 1.2 behind now, Paramanantham from Victoria Chaika, who has climbed up very smartly and is only just 1 point behind Manu Bhaker. So anything could happen. But I say again, Deswal, what a fabulous performance in the final today.
Brilliant performance, Charu. She's been consistent from the word go.
Did you expect that of her? Of course, she's pretty highly rated herself. Manu, of course, rated higher.
Well, I think she has a balanced head on her shoulders and a good coach. And the parents are very involved in her training as well. So that's an advantage.
For sure. Yashaswini in the foreground. That's Paramanantham from Coimbatore. Srinivedita still hanging in there, and Manu Bhaker will be very disappointed with the past few shots. She needs a big 10 right now to climb back up. Maybe it's impossible to actually get hold of Yashaswini Deswal now. She's so far ahead, about 3.5 points ahead. And that lady we just saw, Chaika, doing so well to stay in the fray. Here's the leader.
The interesting part about the sport, Charu, is that everyone wants to shoot an inner 10. But sometimes you have to change strategy and just try and get a 10 instead of a bad 9 or an 8 so that you still remain in the game. And I think that's what Chaika Victoria is actually trying to do. Just get some 10s, don't shoot 8s, stay in the game.
Yep, there's a lot of strategy too. It's not just aim and shoot. There's a lot of complicated thought going on in that brain. So here's Yashaswini. Didn't have a very good shot the last one, but she's so far ahead, I suppose she can not relax, but just not let the tension get to her. So Chaika on the left, Paramanantham very far behind. I don't think she can catch up. 9.6. So that's, you can see the disappointment in her body language.
Yes, she's disappointed pretty much. She knows she's out.
Well, one feels for every finalist or shooter that doesn't make it to the next stage. And here comes the announcement pretty soon. Chaika with a remarkable recovery.